Kirk Duckwell here with your Twin Cities real estate agent news. In this video, I will be covering some of the unexpected deals that we're seeing out there for this time of year, as well as a nice jump after a pretty slow start to activity. And along with that, the crystal ball that we're using to predict where activity is heading, both with showing activity, but also the crystal ball you can use for interest rates. So we're going to deep dive into that. First, I want to cover a few classes that we have coming up. I'm going to put a link down below to all these classes, and all these classes are open and available to all licensed agents and brokerages around Minnesota. So we have a good handful of tickets left for each of these classes. So hop on and grab those if these sound interesting to you. Improving Outcomes with Data, great class where we're going to deep dive into the outcomes of different pricing strategies, the outcomes of different commission strategies, the outcomes that you'll see from staging versus not staging. Time of year, day of week, the effect of allowances, and a whole bunch of more things that you can bring forward to your clients. So again, free CE, 10 o'clock to 11:30, St. Paul. Another class we have coming up. This is CE and social hour, 2-for-1. Not just talking about that social hour, but the CE, 2 classes, each an hour and a half. One is going to be diving into the Realtor property resource, and then turning data into deals using InfoSparks, and then stick around for that social hour afterwards. That one is coming up on March 3rd. The other class was on the 24th of February. So this one's 3 hours. And then we have a focus class. All right. So this is not CE, but it's going to be kind of a deep dive into strategies. This one, how to find and have effective conversations, guiding conversations out on the golf course where you're at. If you're at somebody's wedding and real estate comes up, or you're at book club, how to answer certain questions to help guide them to be more engaging with you. So that one is on March 12th, 10 a.m. And then lastly, we have the Don't Just Stand There series. If you came to the first class, you know how good that was. You didn't have to come to the first one, though, to come to this one. This is going to be more of a deep dive into, gauging ages of mechanicals, appliances, windows, foundations, all of that insight that you can provide, and then strategies you can bring forward in negotiation. Now, this one is CE again, March 24th, 10 o'clock. All right, let's dive into what's going on in our market. Okay, looking at the showings per week, per listing. We watched a jump since last time we did this video. So week over week, 3.44 up to 3.88. When that crosses 4, things get pretty hectic out there. Now, you can see we are down a bit over last year's 4.4. This is down 12%, but it's a heck of a lot better than down 30 or 24 or 25%. We also saw a big shift in showing activity, jumping 2,094 up to 2,380. And here's the bigger part of that. We went from being down 30%, 21% to being up 4%. So a big shift, benefit to sellers out there. All right, talking about the crystal ball, added a few more things that we're tracking out there to give us even more lead time on when is that showing activity going to grow or pop. And what we're looking at, I mentioned this one last time, 14-day view rate. This is how buyers are engaging and looking at stuff online, what the percentage is on average for a listing. And we see coming into Christmas, it drops off, but then picks up as we clear the new year. Very expected. Well, this is one of the highest numbers we've seen yet. Here is a new one that I'm tracking, and this is the percentage of people that have active searches set up that are actually engaging in them. So kind of the pulse of the market before we get to this, which is future showings that are booked out. And again, we can see here, 257 on the future showings. What ends up happening? We see showings make a nice little jump. Here we watched things go from 203 to 229, and then we watched a jump. And again, 229 to 245. We're expecting another jump there. So I'm making my predictions on how many we'll have. My guess is 2,600 range. We'll see where that lands. But all of this leads up how much in advance can we see the market expanding or contracting with activity levels? All right, days on market coming down. That's expected this time of year, 42.1 to 37.4. And cancellation rate after a couple weeks up near 9% drops off to 8. Foreclosures, Hennepin County, 1299. There, I guess it's not super unexpected this time of year. Usually, construction work, all of that, we see more foreclosure filings. This is one of the higher numbers though that we've watched. Ultimately leaving the market meter at 4.3. 4.3 here on our graph. We are in stable market range now. We were previously, last video, still in seller's market. That said, we're tracking almost a whole month behind, 4.3. But if we look back at how we rounded out January, 3.91. Last year, it was 3.91 in December. So, things are dragging out. I mentioned, and we'll get more into this in a minute, where that prediction of where the peak will be, things are getting pushed a bit. All right, we did see, and this is your crystal ball here, Trading Economics, great website, the crystal ball for interest rates. We watched the bond market drop off, and then over the last couple days, just a mild change in it, but shifting everything much closer to that 6% range here. The crystal ball piece of this is, if you track this, many lenders will not change their pricing on interest rates until the next day. So whether this is dropping movement or increasing movement, you can kind of get a heads up, advise your clients, hey, tomorrow might be a great day to lock. We may see rates drop, or advise them, hey, today might be the day to lock because we might see rates change tomorrow. And you can follow that difference by watching here, and this is just Mortgage News Daily, a good way to provide insight to your clients. Another nice thing, kind of fun if you want to geek out, is the calendar. You click on the economic calendar, and there's many sites that cost a fair amount to have the subscription to that show the same stuff. Well, you can watch how world economic trends, the data that comes out, and they kind of highlight big things here, unemployment rate, and you can then immediately go over to the bond market and see, once that report comes out, how is the market reacting. Okay, let's dive into those unexpected deals that I mentioned out there. Well, it's in that new construction sector that I brought up last time. We talked about retracting inventory, maybe down by a couple of percent this year. On the same hand, well, because we had that slower start to the year, they are cutting prices. 20% are selling at a discounted rate right now. I know from experience being out there that this last December was really great for negotiating. So check out those sales. Great little tip when you're looking at new construction sales is to make sure that you're looking at the tax records, because a lot of these builders won't post on the MLS the sale prices. So you can look at the tax records, find the similar foundation sizes and finished square feet, and then you have a similar home and what those sold for. Obviously, lot will play into that a little bit. Okay, again, I am going to put links to those classes. Just kind of wrapping up here. Where do things look projected? Well, I mentioned kind of a delayed market last time that we were expecting. Now that we've been entering in the new data, it is actually putting the peak back a little bit earlier, but it holds it out for kind of almost a secondary peak in through that April timeframe. So kind of following that semi-delayed market, but we finally are seeing things pick up for the marketplace as far as showing activity, as far as the market meter, cancellation rate coming down, all of that we should be heading towards a peak. It's pushed out a little bit. Hopefully you found this information valuable. Take care and have a great month.